All right, Paul, let's move on to the next game. We've got, who we got next? Port Adelaide versus GWS. Now, this one, I didn't enjoy this game at all. I loved what I saw from GWS. I thought they played a fantastic brand of footy, and Port Adelaide, you could tell in the first minute, really, that they just weren't going to. I think Horn Francis scratched his eyeball or something like that. It's not happening for Port tonight. You just know when these things start going wrong early, things aren't going to. And they were just out of the game in the first half. It should have been a 10-goal lead really for the Giants early, and then. But look, Jesse Hogan, he could have had an absolute day out with 4 goals for. Toby Green doesn't do. He's an absolute star, isn't he? We all love Toby Green. And Caniglio, how good is this bloke? How good is Caniglio? He was done last year. He was gone, and all of a sudden, I'll probably get. We're not doing the votes tonight, but I'd give him the 3 votes.
He'd be BOG.
Easily BOG. A few more of the stats. Lockie Whitfield with the 33. Caniglio, as I said earlier, 30, and Tom Green, 29 touches there. From the other side, so I have got them the wrong way around. I thought
team logos.
I did it again.
We can't go a week without an error, but.
So I was talking about the GWS Giants there. From the Port Adelaide side, we had Willie Rioli, Big Willie Energy, kicking the 3 goals there. Marshall with the 2 goals, 1, and oh my lord, kicking up 1 goal, 1 there. So Zach Butters, I think he had 4 touches in the first half there. Absolute, it was a ghost, but yeah, came home hard. Dan Houston with the 22, and Boak last game possibly for Port with the 21. So. Yeah. So anyway, now it's my great privilege making their debut on the show is Needles and Ragnar from the Squinters. Boys, welcome to the channel.
Good evening, chaps. It's very good to be here.
Now, I don't know which one's which. I'll just go with Needles first. How are you feeling about the result, and then take us through where's your head at in terms of next week?
Thanks very much. I'm Needles. I'm feeling well. Actually, I'm just looking at my old man Ragnar. He's got rid of his beard, so at the moment I'm having this. Other than that, football related. Most important thing is to say it's Canelio. So you kneel.
Canelio.
Canelio. Yeah, people are still making that mistake. He's been in the All-Australian side like a couple of times. Pretty good. Like if you saw the stats down there, Lockie Whitfield had 33 touches, and if he's he's having his touches and going straight ahead and slicing and dicing with his foot. If he's got 33 touches, then we're going really, really well. I went and saw the St Kilda game, and the wave is a thing. Like, it's easy to talk about, but to see them come out as a group 4-3-4, handball, and then someone coming right through the guts, it's a really elemental type of footy. It's brilliant to watch. The team looks really well set up. There's a super balance. It's come together slowly. It was being predicted. It was predicted early. We'd get it right about round 10. We got it right about round 11, and then whooshka. That's my summary. Watch out, Collingwood.
Your wave that you talk about, and again, we've cited Hawthorn when it came to the last game, and that's also a trigger topic for Geelong supporters. But the way that the Giants are playing here feels very, I hate to say it, Richmond at their peak, which another touchy subject for us as Cats fans over here, but. It's got that look and feel about it with the wave. It's just that constant push forward mentality. It's fantastic, but with cleaner disposal. It's cleaner it's brilliant to see. I'm really, really enjoying it. And of course, it leads to wins, which then allows the song to get played on loop over.
It does, and we are going to continue to play that song, and we will close out the show with that. You might have with the what are we calling that? The Disney Russian. I don't know what it is.
Pommy said that.
The big sound.
Ragnar,
Pommy said they might have the best over there, but certainly what we've got for the Giants is greatly superior.
Now, I assume you've got a bit of an itchy chin there. You had the bit of hair there previously, but
yes,
how are you feeling?
I'm a little bit cold, but thanks for having us on, fellas. I've been looking forward to this, and what better time to come on than before a massive game at the G. Again, another one of our home grounds. We played at Adelaide 4 times this year, and I think this will be our 3rd time at the MCG. So, we're happy to play anywhere.
anywhere, anytime. 11 venues with a victory. And you've already won at the MCG this year, so in the finals as well. So yeah, there's no stopping you, boys. There is no stopping the orange train, or the tsunami, I should say. Sorry. I can see you there on grand final day. I put some respect on the name, the orange tsunami.
The
Thank you,
orang
Tony.
tsunami.
Orang
It's a really interesting point, and what I sort of find myself, the more people talk about it, the more I begin to agree, sort of reflexively. But Phil Davis talked about the balance of the side, which I just repeated just then. But then Callan Ward last night was comparing 2016 and this year, and he said the Giants' offense in 2016 was brilliant, and like there was a wave then as well, and it was getting into Jeremy Cameron. There was a lot going on, but defensively problematic. Like defensively, we are not problematic anymore. Like Sam Taylor is as good as you'll get. Connor Iden, the POTUS, is unreal on any size of fullback, any size of defensive back. Jack Buckley, no one knows about, and Jack Buckley is about 90% as good as Sam Taylor. We were sort of talking about, he did his ACL last year. We talked, imagine he took over when Taylor got like septicemia of the joints or something like that. Jack Buckley came in and did really well in a bad year for us. We were talking amongst ourselves. Imagine if we got them together. Like, how would that go? Really well. Yeah. And then they just handed off. Well, Himmelberg. Yeah, Himmelberg's the most accurate kicker in the comp for someone who's kicked over 100 goals or something, but he's an unreal backman. And then they give it to Lockie Ash and Whitfield. Like, yeah. I could go on.
Can't say a bad word about your mob at the moment.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to. Like, the Collingwood game, we didn't have Kieran Briggs when we got belted by 50-odd points. It's Briggs.
Is he going to play?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Just jab him. Are you going to do it? Are you going to do Collingwood dirty again like you did in 2019? Was it 2019?
Yeah. Jumped him in the first quarter, kicked 5 goals, and hung on for the next 2.5. Like,
I vividly remember that game. I was actually playing. I play a bit of music, and I was playing at a wedding, and I was DJing by this time, and I was watching the last 2 quarters on my iPad, and it was just thrilling to watch. Just hung on because I had grand final tickets as well, so. We won't talk about that, but it's going to be.
I locked myself in the toilet. I just couldn't handle it. I had to. The son came in and opened the door and said, "Dad, who won?" Yeah, but I didn't pick the Giants to play Port Adelaide. No, I didn't pick him to beat him and I thought Port Adelaide went in at deserved favourites. It's playing at home. They go all right at the Adelaide Oval. They had a really, really good season. They were a bit wounded, but they came, they came third for a reason and only just third. But apart from the fact we didn't kick straight, we were by far the better team. And there's this mentality now, all right, we'll just go and win. There, and the Kingers was saying, well, it's tough that we've got to go play Collingwood in 6 days' time. Well, fine. They earned it. Righto. We'll go get them. And with that sort of attitude, we don't have any real injuries apart from Briggsy. And we'll see how he goes. Kingers didn't seem too concerned. I would still think Collingwood go in as favourites, and that's fair enough. They have been a brilliant team all year. But the way that we are getting it out of the middle with a contested ball, which is probably it's the only wood that Collingwood don't have, is unreal, to say nothing of the turnover stuff. I think we go in versus 18, 22 players, 25 players and 96,000. Tails up. Rags? Agree?
Yeah,
am I too hard?
No, I'm just looking through the stats, and it's interesting. I've got the 2 teams up and like the averages for the season. And I mean, we average more possessions. We average more inside 50s. Collingwood are more efficient when they go forward, which for some reason it's a little bit baffling, but I think it's their system. They obviously average more free kicks than us because Toby never gets a free kick.
Or gets paid a mark, apparently.
Clearances are exactly the same. We both average 36.6 clearances. Centre clearances, stoppages, all about the same. But where I see the Giants do have our strength over Collingwood is contested possessions. So we average almost 10 more contested possessions per game. And if you look at the game on the weekend against Port Adelaide, and all the talk during the week was Port Adelaide's midfield, Rosie, Butters, Torn Francis, Wines, etc. We absolutely tore them to pieces. And when Cogs is in that sort of form, 30 possessions and 2 goals, so he had 13 contested possessions. Ward had 11. Tom Green,
Canberra's best footballer since James
tore it
Hurd,
up.
by the way.
Kelly and Kieran Briggs, Collingwood's going to have their hands full, but it's just similar game styles. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. And like I said on our podcast last week, it's so nice to be able to watch a game for the Giants and know that we're always in the game. We're going to fight it out right to the end.
Fantastic! It's a fantastic club. It's a great team this year. They should be. I don't think they're done yet. Whether they get in the grand final, but I think they're going to give it a red hot crack. Before we let you go, I want to ask you, how are your boys going to cope with the noise? Because those Collingwood fans, they'll probably start the Collingwood in about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter.
That usually bodes bad news for Collingwood supporters once they start calling that one early.
It's bloody intimidating, let me tell you. when 90,000 Collingwood supporters start that up, and there's going to be a 9-to-1 ratio of Collingwood supporters there. You'd have to think
20-1, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be really. I think you either eat pressure or you suck. You get done over by it. They didn't get there in the grand final, but they did get there in the preliminary final 5 years ago. And there are a few guys who played in that. What it's like. Just because you don't play it often doesn't mean you're not ready to deal with it. This team gives the impression that they're ready to deal with it. They accept what's coming and they're ready to go.
It's been awesome to see, and it's causing other opposition players to crack the sads, a bit like Zach Butters with a chair on the weekend, and and at your poor trainer too, for that matter. But so hopefully they just bring that same heat and ruffle up the likes of Nick Dacos and more.
It's all about the start, and if we can get a start and quieten the crowd a little bit, and accuracy for me. Every game has just been decided by accuracy. This whole final series.
Yeah.
Apart from both Giants games, I think we've been convincing winners over both teams, St Kilda and Port Adelaide. But all the other games, I think, have really been decided by accuracy. So if we can kick straight and make the most of our opportunities, I can't see why we won't give it a fair crack.
I'll be keeping my fingers crossed, because me and Paul, we love playing the song, and we'll have to play it for him before we let him go. Let's just get it going one more time. Before we let you go, here we go.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants.
There we go.
So good.
Thanks, boys.
It's the
Thank you
song.
so much. Thank you for coming on the show. Well, hopefully you get a win, and I might even see if you're free to come on next weekend, a week after that. We'll see how we go. But if you don't win, we might have to get Swoop Luke on. We'll see.
Anytime.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Take
Have a
care.
good one.
See you guys.
That's fine. We got every chance we get with Paul, we've got to play that song, and hopefully there's another week of playing. I just feel like they're probably gonna fall at the last minute, but I do think it's going to be really competitive against the Pies.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a really fascinating one. Obviously, we want them to get up, but as the boys just discussed, like, it's, the Pies have earned this position that they're in. They've earned the home game. They've got the crowd. There's a lot of things in their favour, and we've just got to hope that the Giants can overcome all of it. They just seem to be taking all before them at the moment, and hopefully that continues for another 2 weeks. We'll go
2 weeks.
So,
roughly, yeah.
I mean, I'm riding that bandwagon right into the grand final at this point, so hopefully it doesn't crash early.